Sea Bubble, from Memoirs of Extraordinary Popular and the Madness of Crowds by Charles Mackay. My financiallyfree.com. A little bit about myself. I live in Waikiki, Hawaii with my husband Jamil and our 7-year-old son Jordan. Back in 2011, I had a ton of credit card debts, consumer debts, $40,000. I was working at a local bank. That was more than my salary, my annual salary. But I managed to pay off all that debt and to be able to quit my job by December 23rd, 2016. By that time, our family's net worth had improved by over $500,000, and we were making almost $500 a month, every month, in passive income. I started coaching clients to do what I did, which is create passive income while you're paying off debt, learn to become financially free while you're paying off debt, and increase your net worth and become wealthier and create more time freedom for yourself. So now, most of the time, I'm with my son, Jordan. Yesterday, we walked 6.7 miles together. We're on a mission. Well, I'm on a mission and he's coming along. But basically, we want to walk around the island. And so we're training every week, adding 1 more mile to our walking distance. But we don't just walk. We also stopped at the beach, played in the water, ate lunch, so we do it pretty leisurely. But this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. You can have projects with your family. You can spend time with them and make quality experiences with the people you love and not have to worry about getting at a job you don't like anymore. So that's what I'm about. That's what I help people do. You can find out more at yesfinanciallyfree.com. Put in your first name, email address on the right side. Click the big red yes button. You'll get on my email list, and you'll get a free ebook, Working Parents Guide to Financial Freedom, sent directly to your inbox as well. So thank you so much for being on. Now, I am always learning, and that was one of the keys I learned. To become financially free and become wealthy, you must always be learning. Hi, Tommy. Welcome. So I am always learning and always growing. And so I'm reading a book that I've never read before. It is a free ebook. You can get the link on my blog, yesfinanciallyfree.com. All of the recordings of this are on there. It is also being broadcast live on my blog right now through YouTube. All right. So you can go on my blog anytime to catch up, see what is new, and you can get little summaries. There is a link to the free ebook there because this is a free book. It was written so long ago, it has no more copyright on it. So it is a free book. All right. So I highly recommend you read it. You can read it with me, or you could read it on your own. In any case, I'm going to be reading from it today. So I'm going to open that up now on my screen, and I'm going to read that book to anyone who wants to read it with me. Or you can just listen and learn about the South Sea Bubble. All right? So sorry, I'm closing up all these unnecessary tabs that are open on my screen. Okay. The South Sea Bubble. At length corruption like a general flood did deluge all, and avarice creeping on spread like a low-born mist and hid the sun. Statesmen and patriots plied alike the stocks. Peeress and butler shared alike the box, and judges jobbed and bishops bit the town. And mighty dukes packed cards for half a crown. Britain was sunk in Lucre's sordid charms. That was written by the Pope. The South Sea Company was originated by the celebrated Harley, Earl of Oxford in the year 1711, with the view of restoring public credit, which had suffered by the dismissal of the Whig ministry, and of providing for the discharge of the Army and Navy debentures and other parts of the floating debt amounting to nearly 10 million sterling. A company of merchants at that time without a name took this debt upon themselves, and the government agreed to secure them for a certain period of interest of 6%. To provide for this interest amounting to 600,000 L, not sure what L means, per annum. The duties upon wines, vinegar, India goods, wrought silks, tobacco, whale fins, and some other articles were rendered permanent. The monopoly of the trade to the South Seas was granted, and the company, being incorporated by Act of Parliament, assumed the title by which it has ever since been known. The minister took credit to himself for his share in this transaction, and the scheme was always called by his flatterers the Earl of Oxford's masterpiece. Even at this early period of its history, the most visionary ideas were formed by the company and the public of the immense riches of the east coast of South America. Everybody had heard of the gold and silver mines of Peru and Mexico. Everyone believed them to be inexhaustible, and that it was only necessary to send the manufacturers of England to the coast to be repaid 100-fold in gold and silver ingots by the natives. A report industriously spread that Spain was willing to concede 4 ports on the coast of Chile and Peru for the purposes of traffic, increased the general confidence, and for many years the South Sea Company's stock was in high favor. Philip V of Spain, however, never had any intention of admitting the English to a free trade in the ports of Spanish America. Negotiations were set on foot, but the only result was the Asiento contract, or the privilege of supplying the colonies with Negroes for 30 years, and of sending once a year a vessel, limited both as to tonnage and value of cargo, to trade with Mexico, Peru, or Chile. The latter permission was only granted upon the hard condition that the King of Spain should enjoy 1/4 of the profits and a tax of 5% on the remainder. This was a great disappointment to the Earl of Oxford and his party, who were reminded much oftener than they found agreeable of the Portuamonte nascitur ridiculus mus. I don't know what it means. But the public confidence in the South Sea Company was not shaken. The Earl of Oxford declared that Spain would permit 2 ships, in addition to the annual ship, to carry out merchandise during the first year, and a list was published in which all the ports and harbors of these coasts were pompously set forth as open to the trade of Great Britain. The first voyage of the annual ship was not made till the year 1717, and in the following year the trade was suppressed by the rupture with Spain. The king's speech in the beginning of the session of 1717 made pointed allusion to the state of public credit, and recommended that proper measures should be taken to reduce the national debt. The 2 great monetary corporations, the South Sea Company and the Bank of England, were proposals to Parliament on the 20th of May ensuing. The South Sea Company prayed that their capital stock of 10 millions might be increased to 12 by subscriptions or otherwise, and offered to accept 5% instead of 6% upon the whole amount. The Bank made proposals equally advantageous. The House debated for some time, and finally 3 acts were passed, called the South Sea Act, the Bank Act, and the General Fund Act. By the first, the proposals of the South Sea Company were accepted, and that body itself held itself ready to advance the sum of 2 millions toward discharging the principal and interest of the debt due by the state for the 4 lottery funds of the 9th and 10th years of Queen Anne. By the second act, the bank received a lower rate of interest for the sum of 1,775,027 L15s due to it by the state, and agreed to deliver up to be cancelled as many exchequer bills as amounted to 2 millions sterling, and to accept of an annuity of £100,000, being after the rate of 5%, the whole redeemable at 1 year's notice. They were further required to be ready to advance, in case of need, a sum of not exceeding 2.5 million L upon the same terms of 5% interest redeemable by Parliament. The General Fund Act recited the various deficiencies which were to be made good by the aids derived from the foregoing sources. The name of the South Sea Company was thus continually before the public. Through their trade with the South American states produced little or no augmentation to their revenues, they continued to flourish as a monetary corporation. Their stock was in high request, and the directors, buoyed with success, began to think of new means for extending their influence. The Mississippi scheme of John Law, which so dazzled and captivated the French people, inspired them with an idea that could carry on the same game in England. The anticipated failure of his plans did not divert them from their intention. Wise in their own conceit, they imagined they could avoid his faults, carrying on their schemes forever, and stretch the cord of credit to its extremest tension without causing it to snap asunder. Okay, so we're going to stop here. We're just starting page 48, and I'll continue on Monday. I read every day during summer break. I'm going to be reading every day, every weekday, 7:45 a.m. Hawaii time. That is 1:45 p.m. Eastern time. And you can get the recordings at yesfinanciallyfree.com. Have a great day. Thanks for being on the live. Aloha. Thank you so much for being here today on the live video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I will see you again Monday. Aloha.